Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to explore Java operators, a fundamental concept in programming that you'll use frequently. So what are operators? Operators are special symbols that perform operations on variables, values, or literals. The items they operate on are called operands, and the result of the operations is known as outcome or result. In Java, operators come in three main types: unary, binary, and ternary. And they get this name based on the number of operands that they are applied to. If they are applied on one operand, they are called as unary. If they are applied on two or more, they are binary. If they are applied on three operands, they are called ternary. Let's look at the unary operators. So unary operators are unary plus, unary minus, post-increment operator, post-decrement operator, pre-increment operator, pre-decrement operator, and logical NOT. Unary plus and unary minus are used to indicate positive and negative values respectively. When x is 10, unary plus will return positive 10. When x is 10, unary minus will return negative 10. Post-increment and pre-decrement. Post-decrement. So post-increment, if x is equals to 10, increment will print 10. And then x will be incremented to 11. Whereas post-decrement, when x is equals to 10, the print statement will first print x is equals to 10 and then it will decrease to 9. Pre-increment and pre-decrement. In pre-increment, if x is equals to 10, you will be printing x as 11. In the pre-decrement, you will be printing the x as 9 because both have already got decremented. Finally, we have logical NOT. The logical NOT operator will invert the Boolean value of the x. If x is true, it will return false. Logical NOT of x will be false. So let's see the programming version of the example that we discussed. Now that we have covered the eye-level overview, let's dive into the code and see how the concepts come to life by demonstrating unary operators in action using some simple variables. So I have a class called operator unary. It has a main method inside. So inside my main method, I'm going to create a variable, it's a simple variable of type int. So my variable name is x. I'm going to assign a value to this x, which is going to be 10. Now I'll have a println statement and let's apply unary positive operator on the x. So my unary plus operator is my operand. Since it is only one operand used here and x is my variable, I'm going to print the second operator, which is unary minus of x. Third is post increment. Like I mentioned, post increment operator is plus plus. So system dot println, and I'm going to do post increment of x, which is x plus plus. So here what I'll be able to see is this will be printing the x as 10. So post increment will increment your value of x later in the expression. At this point of time that I have written the println statement and I have x plus plus, the value here is going to be 10. I'm going to use one more println and we'll try to print the x. And at this point, this is going to be 11. Because in your post increment, this is going to be increased by 1 afterwards. Now, let me demonstrate pre-increment. And for pre-increment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reassign the value of x to 10. Now let's println and try to pre-increment it, which is plus plus x. At this point, the x is going to be 11. Similarly, post-increment, post-decrement, which is minus minus. At this point, your x is going to be 11. And I'm again going to print the value of x. Here it will be 10 again. Because in the expression we have decremented it, but the value will get updated later because it is post. And so at this place it will be 10. Where else if I will try to do the pre-decrement. So your x is 10 here. Pre-decrement means it will become 9, meaning minus 1. So the last unary operator that needs to be checked is logical not operator. So for that, in system.out.println, we will have a value called boolean, and I'm going to have a value called fire equals to true. So I'm having a boolean value for fire which is true, but when I put logical not of fire and try to print, this will negate the value that I have passed for the boolean variable, which will become false. Since it is a true value, the negation of true is going to be false. Let's try to run this. Let me throw in some unary description, unary plus, unary minus. This is going to be post-increment, pre-increment, post-decrement, pre-decrement, logical not. Let me run this. So your unary plus of x is 10. Your unary minus of x is minus 10. Your post increment of x plus plus is 10. And then after when you try to print your x, it becomes 11 because it is post increment. Operator has been applied on the x. And we have pre-increment. Pre-increment plus plus x will print you 11. And then you have post decrement. So post decrement comes here, the x prints 11 and then it becomes, it will deduct 1 from that, which will leave the x to 10 in the next line. So if you see it prints 10 later, when you try to print the x, when you try to pre-decrement it, when you put minus minus of x, your 10 becomes 9. And finally, you have logical not of fire. Fire is holding true value in it. When you apply logical not of your true value, it returns false. So this is the example program that will demonstrate how the unary operators works. Thanks for watching. Bye.